Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder is tentatively scheduled for December 19th at the new Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. One, does Deontay Wilder have a chance in this fight? Two, will this serve as Deontay Wilder's last professional contest? Your thoughts on this, my friend?
I'm going to answer that first part. I don't think he has a chance to beat Tyson Fury. I'm going to be honest. From what I saw the last fight, at this stage of Deontay's career, hasn't really made significant strides in some of the fundamentals of the sport. I just don't see him being able to make those changes overnight or, in the last 6 or 8 months since he's fought. With that being said, as far as it being his last fight, I don't think it'll be his last fight, win, lose, or draw. I think he's still an attraction, and he still has some heavyweight fights left in him that they can make that I think that would be very profitable for him. So I just, don't take that it's going to be his last fight serious. But as I said, as far as the first part, I don't think he can beat Tyson Fury from what I saw the last time. I think I give him a very slim chance of beating Tyson, and I just don't foresee it. I really don't.
Well, you may be right, but once again, this is the heavyweight division. Where, in the lower weight classes, whenever you say someone has a puncher's chance, that's virtually
right.
slim to none, right? But in the heavyweight division, when you say someone has a puncher's chance, that's actually something. Now, Again, we read a quote, and it was reported by DAZN News, right? Deontay Wilder's apprentice, a gentleman that he's currently mentoring, a Nigerian heavyweight, and I don't want to murder his last name, so I'm going to refer to him as Raphael A., right? He recently stated he believes that his mentor, Deontay Wilder, is in, quote, amazing physical shape as he prepares for his December rematch with Tyson Fury. Now I'm going to read you his quotes, right? This is what the young 29-year-old Nigerian had to say. He said, Deontay Wilder will beat Fury if he sticks to the game plan from his coaching staff, and I know he has all the physical tools. Right now he's in amazing physical shape, that I can tell you for sure. You will see a completely different Deontay Wilder, mentally and physically in the ring, when that bell rings again for a third fight. That I can tell you, end quote. Well, first of all, let's address this. He's currently in Miami preparing for this third fight, right? In my opinion, and he's currently hired as part of the team, he's hired a strength and conditioning coach this time, which tells you that conditioning was an issue in the last fight. So why, Rodney? So why is he training at sea level if conditioning was an issue? Don't you think he should be training with our man Gogi in Leon, Mexico at 5,000 feet in altitude? Like Big Bear Lake, California, somewhere. Why are you training at sea level in Miami, brother, if conditioning was an issue? And in your opinion, right? Okay, that's the first thing, and we'll go over the game plan. Because once again, Raphael, he says if he sticks to the game plan from his coaching staff, well, I'm going to go over what I think that is, right? But in your opinion, is hiring a conditioning coach going to help him in this? Do you think he maybe needs greater sparring? Or do you think he needs to be jumping on boxes and throwing medicine balls with a conditioning coach? Your thoughts on that?
I mean, at the end of the day, anytime you go to South Beach and train, look what happened to Anthony Joshua when he trained in South Beach. Remember what happened to Anthony Joshua?
Oh, jeez.
Remind everybody what happened.
He got KTFO'd by Andy Ruiz Jr.
Exactly. So, I mean, again, you go to South Beach for vacation, man. You don't go to South Beach to work. I mean, so let's put that out there right there. I would like to see him be somewhere isolated, and like you say, in Big Bear or somewhere like you say where Goldie trains in the mountains, no distractions.
Hey man, Emmanuel Stewart used to take his best fighters to the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Yeah, do something like that and really, really show that you're serious and you're really dedicating yourself. No distractions, and just put the work in. But as I said, Deontay Wilder, he is a heavyweight. We can't take his power away from him at all. But as I said, man, he's going to have to be so much of a better version of what I last saw, and I just don't. Again, you're right, man. We always have a puncher's chance, but Tyson Fury, I think, he's a more confident fighter, and I think he's going to continue to put the pressure on Deontay, take the fight to him, and I look that it possibly can be the same result, maybe even knock him out sooner if Deontay is not totally prepared. So training in South Beach, though, man, that doesn't give me a vote of confidence at all. And like you say, he's hired a conditioning trainer. But come on, man, in South Beach right now, that's a cool breeze right there, Joseph. It's no humidity.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm a little surprised, and so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to talk about this, and once again, we want to thank our brother Big Luke from New York for tuning in. And he stated this right now while you were voicing your valued opinion, Rodney. He said, skill is the dominant issue, not conditioning. Couldn't have said it any better, Big Luke. And thank you for joining us tonight, brother.
That's true.
And yeah, you're right on the money. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rodney.
And that's right. I saw just a totally different level of skill than my last fight. I truly did, and I saw a fighter who lacked confidence for the first time in his career, Deontay Wilder. He truly, he looked beaten, he looked defeated, and he was a fighter with no confidence. So, he has a lot to, work on and improve if he's going to change the outcome. So, but nevertheless, though, there will be one fight that I guarantee you will be getting our money, though. I definitely will be tuning in. Believe that.
Indeed. I really look forward to that fight happening because, once again, and you nailed it, Rodney, just the attraction of getting the mainstream and casual sports fans involved, that's huge for the health of the sport. Okay, and that's what it's going to take, guys, going back to Antonio's question, to prove Dana White wrong. We've got to get the mainstream and casual sports audiences involved. But going back to the strategy part of it, and once again, this gentleman seems convinced, and I'm talking about Rafael, the young heavyweight fighter who's currently under the wing of Deontay Wilder. He said, if he sticks to the game plan, I know he's going to win. So what would that game plan be? Well, one, I guarantee you that they're going to be working on, strength and conditioning. One thing that really threw off Deontay Wilder was Tyson Fury's big body leaning all over him on the inside. He had never experienced this as a professional, and he didn't know how to handle it, and he blamed it on his suit, on his costume. And once again, Lennox Lewis and Emmanuel Stewart always profess that. Hey, you know what? When you're on the inside, you lean on that guy. You take his legs away from him. And then you put him out after about 6 or 7 rounds of this. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why they hired a strength and conditioning coach. But once again, you should be training at high altitude, right? Miami Beach. Cheating out, dude. But as far as strategy goes, and you may not believe this, Rodney, but this fight becomes immediately more competitive if he does just 2 things, brother. One, he's got to win the jab contest. You cannot sit and wait on a guy like Tyson Fury. He is going to freeze you because of all of the disjunct upper body movement and his brilliant sporadic jab. He will flick out the jab, not even trying to hit you with it, but just to keep your eyes on it, to keep you occupied, and to freeze you. You have no idea the way he moves. If you're going to wait on Tyson Fury, you have no idea whether or not he's going to flick it out at you, touch you with it, or punch through the target in a sticking jab. And that sets up his entire arsenal of shots, right? So Deontay Wilder cannot wait on Tyson Fury in this fight. He has to get off first. He has to win the jab contest. He has to throw and land more jabs to the body, chest, and head. And most important, right, he's got to be the aggressor in this fight. He's got to push Tyson Fury back. He has to be the predator once again in this ring. If he sits and waits on Tyson Fury, he's going to be picked apart, and you're going to see the same outcome as the second fight. But I guarantee you this, if he tries to win the jab contest, if he gets off first and tries to take the lead and become the predator again, it becomes instantly a more competitive fight. I'm not saying he wins, but it instantly becomes much more competitive, and that's the fight plan. I guarantee you that's what Mark Breland is writing up in the War Room. He's saying, you know what? We're much better, man, fighting on our front foot than we are on our back. We've got to press him. We've got to win the jab contest, either by using lateral movement or just throwing and landing more jabs. That's the only way we're going to be competitive in this fight, and he's right. So there it is. We'll see if it works out for Deontay, though. But I tell you what, I'm just looking forward to a majestic event, once again, by ESPN and Fox, Top Rank, and PBC.